we're going to close out our panel by talking about education and some of the programs that World Vision has been investing in. And here to talk to us a little bit about that is Cheryl Jurisic. And Cheryl, I would love to have you outline for us is the program All Children Reading. Who's involved in this unique public partnership? What is the secret sauce to its success, if you will? I'd love to hear more, and I'm sure the audience would as well.
Great. Thank you so much, Scott. It's a wonderful question, and it's great to be here. We're really excited to have a chance to talk about this great partnership and really about education, which we've been hearing so much about, and the impact that it has in the lives of women and girls. This partnership is one that we are very excited about and we've been on this journey since 2011, and it's a partnership between World Vision, USAID, and the Australian government. A mix you might not think has come together, but it has, and it's come together because we recognize that we had a shared vision and goals around impacting early grade reading outcomes for children, that they could reach their full potential, and doing that both through partnership and new innovations. And part of that was we recognized that as key agencies in the global actor space, that we believed we could work together by bringing to light the fact that while there are more children actually going to school these days, they are not actually achieving literacy levels that you would expect. And we heard this morning and yesterday that there are 62 million girls that are not in school. There's also a recent study from UNESCO from 2013 and 2014 that tells us that there are 250 million children that are not achieving both literacy and numeracy skills. So there's a great need for this type of work to be done, and so we've been really excited to be a part of that work. At World Vision, there were really some key factors that we were looking at about what would make this really important in terms of alignment for us. And there are three things I'd like to highlight for you. One was that there was a strong alignment between our own education goals and our child well-being aspirations, And the second would be that partnership, and partnership is a core value at World Vision, and it's one in which we know that you need to work often in terms to achieve education goals. You need to work both with and through partners. And partnership and collaboration is a key principle of All Children Reading. And lastly, it has to do with research, and we've heard that come up a few times here through the course of our partnership conversation. And research is really important as a part of All Children Reading. A third of the portfolio budget is really dedicated to research and understanding what are the key innovations that are really helping to develop and comprehension reading levels for children. And so that is something that we've made sure that we know how can we scale and sustain the innovations that are having the greatest impact for children. And so those three things really made a difference in terms of our ability to invest in All Children Reading and come together as a strong partnership, which we've seen over the last few years. We've seen a deepening of the relationship of the three partners, and it's one that's really strengthened. We've also seen that in the programming. The programming has really deepened and evolved in the field, and we've seen how it's also continued to develop as a robust platform. So it began as a single round of competitions, and it's grown to be a robust platform where there are multiple prize competitions, and it's led to seed funding for literacy solutions. So there's been more than 1,000 innovators that have submitted their applications for review, and we have selected 60 projects for implementation across the three partners. And that has led to, that's been in over 30 countries. So it's been really amazing to see how this has continued to build and develop just in the first grant round competition. And one of the things that's really been interesting is to see that this has been across a wide breadth of people that have been submitting their applications. So it's been everything from local to international entities, women-owned businesses, universities, NGOs. It's been all across the spectrum coming together to build literacy for children. And finally, I'd love to share with you just where we're at with this first grant competition, because we've had really some terrific results. Over 450,000 children have seen improved literacy outcomes as a part of this, many of them being girls. And 5,249 teachers and their assistants and educators have also been a part of these innovations, and 125 parent-teacher associations have been impacted as well.
Wow. Okay, Kofi is one of the first grantees of this program. I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about how you assess the impact, where you've been, where you're going with this.
Well, thank you, Scott. And I bring you greetings from Ghana. How many of you have ever been to Ghana? Okay, the rest of you need to come to Ghana. Yeah, so in 2012, the All Children Reading Program gave Open Learning Exchange the opportunity to contribute to Ghana's quest for quality basic education, with a special emphasis on reading, early grade reading, and the girl child. So through our Ghana Reads program, we have, using a hands-on, holding hands approach, introduced teachers to new ways of teaching and making teaching and learning fun. We have provided exciting just-in-time content and innovatively made use of technology to make learning fun and reading exciting. An external evaluation that has been carried out as part of program activities have clearly indicated that the program is having a very strong impact on pupils' literacy skills acquisition, with girls kind of leading the way. Our partnership with the All Children Reading partners and later engagement with World Vision Ghana has helped us in our own small way to reach some 10,000 pupils, 60% of whom are girls. We have worked with some 400 teachers, 70% of whom are females. But we still feel that the impact of our program is yet to be felt when new partnerships that we are developing come to fruition. And I'll give an example. There is the DFID supported Transforming Teacher Education and Learning program, which is currently going on back home. And this is targeted at the 38 colleges of education. Now, this is going to have a big impact on girls' education. And luckily for us, with our Ghana Reads program, we are part of that process. There is also the USAID Partnership for Education Learning program. And it's very likely that we'll have a chance to play a role in that as well. But in looking at the impact, we've also been very mindful of the sustainability issues associated with this kind of project. So right from the very onset, we have preempted some of the possible challenges and tried to address them head on. And there's one solution that I've heard being said here over and over and over again, and that's PPP. But I would want to add another P and say that you should have a PPPP, positive public-private partnerships. So we are looking at, we've been encouraging local PPPs where eventually we expect that the local political and educational authorities will take over the control, management, planning, and budgeting for these programs in their area. We are also looking at the schools themselves and the school communities. They've been doing this already, but we need to push them more to do that, to innovatively generate funds to manage the very minimal recurrent cost for the program. And of course, Open Learning Exchange will always be there to provide the technical support. We also do have a teacher or human resource development program in place based on a coaching concept. So we have layers of coaches right down to the local level where capacity is built to offer first-line support. And we complement this using an e-coaching process. We've been very mindful of the technology that we are also using. It's not just a question of what is nice. It is a question of what really works in the conditions and situations that we find ourselves. So we are looking at technology that addresses internet and power-related issues. But most importantly, the setup costs and the recurrent costs must also be very minimal for sustainability to be achieved. And I think the bottom line is the end user must always see a need to go for that product. If you put all these things in place and the end user doesn't see any need for it or can't easily access it, I don't really think it's of any use. So we are exploring, one of the things we are doing is exploring possibilities of taking the content that we already have and turning this into a national online e-library for basic education. Then the last mile, we would use a network of low-cost, offline digital libraries using the Raspberry Pi to do the distribution.
That's great. Well, I want to thank you for focusing on both the sustainability issue and also that point about, again, that you might not expect somebody from Google to emphasize, but that technology is not always or even most of the time the solution. It's all about the user and what the situation in which he, or in this case she, finds herself to be able to access the information on the educational tools that you're providing. So I wanted to thank you for that. On the sustainability issue, those 4 Ps were interesting to me because positive implies that there can be negative, which is why just at the outset I said that it should be intentional, coordinated, and concerted. You know, because there are so many players in this space, and if they're not coordinated with the best of intentions, wanting to help girls learn to read in Ghana, the partner can't have the impact that they might otherwise have. But World Vision is going to continue with this funding, so as I understand, and so I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about why it is that you think that that you want to continue to go in this direction.
Absolutely, thank you. Yes, as a child-focused, community-based organization, we recognized, and part of the reason we made this investment in All Children Reading is that their technology-based solutions can really help accelerate the learning of children in our communities. And that's just what we've seen, and we've found evidence of that as we've looked at the All Children Reading evidence from the program. We have full confidence in moving forward because of the results from both our own work and the effectiveness of the innovations. And there's 2 key innovations that we've selected to move forward with. One is the one you've just heard Kofi talk about with Open Learning Exchange in Ghana, and the other one is from World Education, which is a total reading approach in Cambodia. And so I'll tell you a little bit more about just kind of the big picture of what we're doing in Ghana to build upon what Kofi's talked about, in that we're going to scale this in a pretty, really, I think, very exciting way in Ghana. We're going to go to 5 of the 10 administrative regions in Ghana with this program, and that's going to affect over 200 communities, which means 10,000 pupils, and 60% of those will be girls. And these are in some of the hardest to reach areas. These are places where the government might not get there for a really, really long time. So these are girls and boys, but girls that are not going to get this education and these types of tools that can really help them learn for who knows when. But now they're going to have these in their hands. So we're really excited about this. And so it's this kind of innovative approach that we see as we continue to build this that's going to really, really make it exciting. Because of the success of the partnership, which was 2011 to 2013, the partners have agreed to do a second round, which is 2014 to 2017, and we are also going to be expecting that some of the pilots that we see today that are in place, we see some new ones that will be on the horizon that we can scale as well. So I'll just close to let you know that we do have a really great website out there. It's called allchildrenreading.org, and I would encourage you, if you're interested at all in potentially being either an innovator or just looking at the work that's been done out there potentially, to go take a look at that and see some of the great work that's been done. And we really have all the grantees are out there, the prize competitions are out there, and you can see everything that's on that website.
Well, unfortunately, we have come to the end of the time that we've been allotted, and I would like to encourage you to think of what you've just heard up here as an appetizer, an invitation to go deeper, because obviously having so much expertise and experience up on this stage with so many stories that I just wanted to bring out but don't have the time to do so, has been frustrating for me because I know what's there. So please, I encourage you to check out the various websites, check out their biographies, check out their approaches, and please join me in thanking all of them for this spectacular hour. Thank you.